Hey, welcome back to the channel. So it's awesome that you're tuning in. In this video we're going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing about a really cool product I recently, I had this thing laying around for some time now. The Pocket DMG, the Aya Neo. So this is one of those devices from Aya Neo that was quite interesting because this thing comes with the SnapDragon, the SnapDragon. So when it comes to the SnapDragon, there are many different editions out there. And when this thing is already a little bit older, yeah, the question remains, of course, is this going to be something that is still fun to pick up? So this always feels like a little bit of a present for my birthday, because this thing is actually like coming within the gift box in the inside. No idea what this is actually about. So let's see, we're going to be having the joystick caps, we're having the HD tempered film. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see what's in here. Ooh, we got some drinking cup of Aya Neo. That's kind of cool. A metal one. Nice. Don't know what's going on over here, but that's kind of cool. So let's see, real gamers, no gamers. So I love these very cool gimmicks. They're absolutely perfect for your coffee. And here we have even a protection sleeve. But about the protection sleeve, what is even interesting is that we're going to be looking into this, let's say, package. We're having the 35 watt retro adapter, so it's going to be convenient. But yeah, again, like we have multiple of these 35 and like heavier, let's say, adapters. So it's not going to be something I'm going to be using. The only weird thing is like they're giving you actually two of these Aya Neo DMG vintage shoulder bags. It's kind of interesting, but kind of weird. Like I only need one, but okay. So we're having this very cool brown color, and I'm guessing this is just black. Oh no, this is a different brown. Okay, that's interesting that I went for this particular color. Personally, I love the dark brown color. Let me know in the comments which color do you prefer when it comes to that. But let's get into the handheld. Let's put everything back because we're not going to be using it today. Yeah, we do need the charger. Ooh. And let's go with the flow. Ooh. Aya Neo is one of those products that I've reviewed many times before. However, I must say one of the things I really like, because they smell really nice. Besides that point that I love sniffing these things, it's like the fact that you're going to be having some overall nice quality products. So far I have never really experienced some bad things with Aya Neo. Let me know in the comments, did you have any bad experiences? So the Pocket DMG is actually like if they released the Game Boy again, or at least that's what I think of. So this thing comes with 16 GB and 1 TB, I don't know what, 60 GB RAM and 1 TB of storage, Androids. So let's do a quick unboxing together. So that's kind of cool. Okay. So we do have like different color variations. I went for the like old school color theme because I just love that. So let's see what's going on. So we even have the option to even have like customized shoulder buttons and everything. And it comes with metal paint shoulder buttons. So that's kind of cool. So man, the presentation is absolutely always spot on with the Aya Neo devices. So the form factor, I must say that when it comes to the form factor, it's interesting. I think it's the way how it feels in my hands. I must say that it's okay. And I understand also the configuration is kind of interesting. So they went for 4 buttons at the front. We're having a D-pad, and the D-pad itself is quite big. So we're having 1 analog stick. So I think it's going to be more than enough if you want to play some simple games. So if you want to switch between D-pad and analog stick. Not the biggest fan of the overall configuration, because for me this is the ultimate position. Nevertheless, so the ABXY button does have like this very nice feeling, like a very quick travel. Home button, select and start over here, and I understand they're even having this trackpad over there. So at the side we do have like the configuration for all the other functionalities, and I must say I love this very nice clicky scrolling wheel. But in other words, the thing is packed full with extra buttons. It's going to be super convenient for volume control, and also if you want to configure stuff for emulators and everything. So we do have like this very nice valve you can open up, and in here we're going to be finding actually the option for adding a micro SD card. I do wonder, like, do I mess this up, or yeah, do I need to pull it out a little bit more, because otherwise I'm going to be ruining this freaking thing. Nevertheless, so there's another option. And another thing I do need to highlight, so with this station actually has like a touchpad for the people who want to know. You can actually like push both. So that's kind of cool, so when it comes to the overall features. So let's remove the screen protector and let this thing boot up. And already giving you the presentation of the SnapDragon logo, and then we're going to be having the setup feature Ooh, the rumble function is activated. Ooh, I'm going to be needing to charge this thing too. So we're going to be starting it up. Yep, we do have like less 20% battery, so let's charge this thing up to begin with. In the meantime, let's see what we're going to be getting more, well, because we have more goodies. The Pocket DMG. I must say that I really love the presentation also when it comes to the packaging itself, but also the more like, I wouldn't say that it is actually like a game itself, but this is giving me some retro old school vibes. So let's see what's going on with the manual. So yep, this is actually where this thing was actually qualified, where they actually made this thing. So you can see this thing has been around for some time. So we're having over here the Aya Neo overall instructions about the Neo space, because they have like their own interface that we're going to be taking a closer look at. But also going to be checking out how convenient it's going to be if you want to play games, but also when it comes to other, let's say, functionalities. So a quick overview of how all of the buttons will be configured, including the back buttons over here. And yeah, all kinds of deluxe toilet paper. They were also talking about those back buttons, so that's kind of cool. So let's see the Pocket DMG spare buttons. So let's see what we're getting over there. And a joystick and some other stuff. And these were like the metal loop buttons that we're talking about. Let's see what's going on over here. I'm guessing this is the cable that we're going to be needing for charging. Let's see what kind of cable they're giving us. Oh, a very nice long one, USB-C to USB-C. But let's do a quick overview of the device itself. I've been messing with it with some time, setting it up, and I must say it's a very overall positive experience when it comes for tinkering with it, because that's actually what it is with these devices. So functional wise, this thing has some really cool features. I mean, when you're going to be looking at the buttons over here, it's making navigation through the Android system absolutely so much better. I love overall the scrolling wheel, the way how this thing feels, but also how it actually works, because the audio quality is pretty good of this thing. And the overall way how this works is absolutely great. And the audio sounds really good. So with the side speakers over there at the top, I can tell you that this is absolutely a blast to the past. Similar to my Analog Pocket, it also has like a really good overall audio quality. And I think this is one of the features that I love of the premium devices. So what is kind of interesting is that we're going to be calling this thing the turbo button. With the turbo button we can actually navigate into different features. You see that it actually showcases like what kind of function, and we're having 4 different ways. And with the final one we're going to be rocket mode. And mostly, most of the time if you're going to be playing game, activating the back ventilator over there. And you can just, sounds like a mini vacuum cleaner. That's one thing for sure. But the overall configuration can just very easily switch. So if you're just going to be simple games. Personally, I had like the best experience with setting number 2, where we do have a little bit of balance, and that's great for overall emulation. So the configuration itself is more than enough. I mean, particularly we're going to be looking at the D-pad. This plays quite well. Later in the video we're going to be showcasing some gameplay, but also when it comes to the thumbstick, this is great for if you want to play some games like Minecraft. We do have the touchpad, trackpad, you want to call it, but yeah, it's something I'm not a big fan of when it comes to the overall gameplay. I just rather have like 2 joysticks. And at the right bottom we're going to be having this beautiful logo of Aya Neo, and this is more like a home button, or you can actually hold it for a couple seconds and go from the game. So let's say we're going to be having Minecraft, you want to go back, you can hold it and go back to the Aya Neo software, or you can just singly press this over here and we're getting the option menu with all kinds of cool features. Here we can see the balance, the performance mode, everything that we can also switch with the button. But then here we have like fan speed and all kinds of things that you can tweak, and of course giving some information about how hot the devices and everything else. So one of the things I hate about these Android devices is setting up. However, with Aya Neo it's going to be a little bit different. So first of all, if you're going to be looking into the software, this is actually what you're seeing. This is like the main list with all of the applications, and in here we're going to be finding Aya Neo space, we're having settings, and with the settings we can mess around with the typical settings that we have like with your Android device and everything else. So, but what is really convenient is that with Aya Space we're going to be having so much overall fun experience adding stuff. So this thing is actually compatible with all kinds of different front ends. So if you want to install orange box, this is compatible, and you can do some communication, everything there. However, I wanted to check out like what it is when it comes to the AS space, how will it actually work. If you're going to be adding new platforms, this is super simple. You can just choose your platform that you want to. So let's say you want to add Doom or something else, you can actually confirm this, and this way we can just say, hey, I want to go to the certain folder, and we're going to be choosing that. We can implement the certain RetroArch core or whatever you're going to be needing. I think the way how they actually work is pretty good. I still need to mess around with the logos and everything, but when it comes to the overall performance, I was really intrigued, like what can we do with this powerful SnapDragon? Is it going to be crazy? So let's start off. It's a simple gaming with some, let's say, old school games, and you can just see that we can just play the Tailgater without any problem whatsoever. I set it up, still need to do a little bit of tweaking, because when it comes to tweaking, this is one of the things you always need to do. I think I need to go into the settings, shut down the touchscreen controls, but out of the box, I didn't have any problem whatsoever. We have Start Select over here. I think you could have like a little bit of bezels over there, but this is looking really great. I think the experience, and for me, this is going to be all about, let's say, these old school games. And the audio, I already mentioned before. Ha ha! This is crazy. Let's go whip the guys. Let's whip them. And let's hold the button and go back. And there are different ways, of course, to go back. But nevertheless, if you're going to be looking into some emulation, yeah, so old school games are absolutely a lot of fun. But I think if you're going to be interesting, as you're going to be looking into Sega Dreamcast, for example. So if you want to play some old school Sonic Adventure, this is going to be cool. But if you're going to be playing some Sega Dreamcast on 4K rendering resolution, it's completely insane. But one of the things is the audio, man. This audio is so an overall fun experience. Performance-wise, this thing runs like a freaking charm. Of course, if you need to do some, let's say, a little bit boosting, you can use the button at the side. Everything has been set to balance now. And this is not like really in complaint, but I think if you're going to be playing, messing around, like I'm usually love to play with the D-pad. So if you're going to be using the analog stick, it's really sensitive. Emulation performance on this thing is just freaking awesome. It runs without any problem on super high resolution or rendering resolution. The game looks amazing. And I think this is thanks to this beautiful and very powerful SnapDragon that we can actually have the option to do this. However, when it comes for playing these games, so I am not the biggest fan of the analog stick position, but it's more like a personal preference. However, emulation of Sega Dreamcast is not going to be a problem whatsoever. But how about emulation of the PlayStation Portable? So we had then set this to Vulkan backend with 4K rendering resolution 2, 8 times. We can load up and you can just see this runs like a charm. But I must say that where this thing looks absolutely beautiful, still having 2 black bars because of course of the screen resolution. So yeah, this is one of the things. I wouldn't say I'm going to be hating it, but you know, it is what it is, you know, at this point. Oh man, this freaking D-pad is very responsive. I really like that. So when it comes to overall emulation performance, PlayStation Portable, this thing is absolutely crazy. Think about if they're going to be implementing this chip in, let's say, later on models for less money. So the performance is going to be better and better. But how is it with different games? So let's go to the action menu. Let's go into the God of War Change of Kinkiness. Let's load up. And when it comes to this particular game, yeah, we're going to be having some different configuration too. So let's see what's going on. So 4K rendering resolution is actually possible, but I must say that when it comes for, let's say, playing, I did notice some hiccups here and there. So but you can do a little bit of tweaking. That's per game, the same situation. But so far you can see the dips are quite minor. And I must say the overall experience is quite good. So we reached into the point with these kind of chipsets from SnapDragon that we can actually play all kinds of different systems without any problem whatsoever. Let's slice and dice with the chains of kinkiness. Let's go. I was messing around with the tune setting of 10 times, but that's just going to be way too much. But we can mess around with that with Wipeout itself. But you can see, no problem. Try to catch me, try to catch me. So what's even more interesting if you want to get into some GameCube. So when it comes to the GameCube itself, the Dolphin emulator, I actually used the one from the Play Store. The MMGR is going to be having overall better performance. But I just wanted to showcase something that's pretty fun. So we're running now on 49 frames per second. So let's say we're going to be improving this. So this is still running on not like the highest setting. So let's crank it up. So we're going to be having gaming mode now. So now you can actually see that it runs slightly better. We're having overall better performance, but it's like a minor thing. We do have like a very stable frames. But let's go into the turbo mode, like the most powerful mode of this thing. So we're going to be having also a little bit overall better performance. Vacuum cleaner has been activated. But still it's like a minor difference. What is kind of fun is to go to the, let's say, the low powered mode. You can see like now it started like crazy. Makes it freaking unplayable. I think my favorite setting is actually like setting number 2. Let's see the balance mode. But still got some really overall good performance. But I think it's like a very fun, like say, overall like thing that they did, like with the switching. It's super convenient. But how about the Play Store? Let's get into that too. So when it comes to the Play Store, we have all kinds of options to download games. So what I love about it, you can add them to the quick menu over here, or you can just search into, let's say, the overall configuration there. So, but you know what's fun? Let's go with ADA64 and let's take a close look at the DMG, or let's say the overall specification and everything else. Already mentioned this thing comes with installed RAM, 16GB, total memory, and yeah, this thing comes with 1TB storage. So over here, this is actually the core architecture, what you're going to be seeing over here with all of the different cores. And this is actually what's going on over here. So the display, so the screen resolution is quite interesting with 1240 by 1080. So screen size, how much inches, 5.40 inches with a pixel density of 320 dpi. And overall, so when it comes to the GPU rendering, Adreno and everything else. But how is it with loading games of Street of Rage 4, Turtles and everything? Oh crap, I accidentally pressed the button. Yep, okay, can we continue? Thank you. So when it comes for playing the games, the unfortunate part is due of the, let's say, screen size. Yeah, we do have like 2 bezels. I personally freaking hate it, but there was nothing to do about it so far, I understand. However, the emulation performance, or emulation, I mean, the emulation performance of this thing is great. But when it comes to Street of Rage, you can just download this from the store, buy it. I think they were asking 10 bucks for it or something. But it runs really well. Great opportunity to check the D-pad, and just the smoothness of the D-pad makes it really pleasant to play. And if you're going to be playing more demanding games like a Minecraft, that is absolutely possible. We do have enough controls to actually, yeah, just play this game as it's supposed to be. But I think like it's not like the overall best, let's say, solution. If you're going to be needing 2 joysticks, you should have like physical joysticks at this point. But let's get into my world. I love that I also have like a touchscreen. It's so convenient, and of course you can just play all kinds of different games. It doesn't even need controls. But let's load it up. It will need a little bit of time, but the overall performance of the Minecraft was quite good. Load up, load up, load up, load up, and there we go. Thank you. So I just wanted to showcase how it actually works when it comes to, let's say, the controls. So if you want to move around, you're going to be needing the trackpad over here. And I can tell you that it's quite difficult to actually play like that. I'm watching a different angle. But you can see that I do struggle. I really suck at this game in general, but finally managed myself out of the water. But I just wanted to showcase is that it's actually the way to play. But again, maybe it's me not used to this overall situation. But you know, if you want to play other games that need 2 joysticks, I think this is not going to be the very fun way to play. The back buttons are okay when it comes to that. And it's kind of cool that we do have like 4 buttons actually, because these are like differently. But it's not like the most comfortable device out there when it comes for playing these kinds of games. The Aya Neo Pocket DMG, I must say that I really like it for what it is. It gives me a little bit of an analog pocket, let's say, vibes, only of course with Android. You need to tinker with it a lot to get everything to work, so you need to prepare yourself. So the overall software makes it a little bit more easier to actually tinker. I love this Aya space, but of course you can implement different kind of, let's say, front ends. But you do need a lot of tinkering, but overall performance wise, this thing can do a lot. And you know, in the short time that they're releasing all kinds of different devices, this thing is absolutely cool. It's not like the most comfortable handheld out there, but for me it would be something I would just prefer to have, like playing some old school simple games that just utilize the 4 buttons. Think about some PlayStation and everything else. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.